Fuck you!
I wonder is it snow caps or caps today? Looks like it caps today.
The TrashK now is wizard levels. Where is your god now?
Why?
Okay, while we wait for Trashy, those of you, and now, as a general guideline for today, I don't want you to go, I'm fabulously blonde-haired and blue-eyed and 6'4" and 32 millimeters. General terms, describe yourselves, starting with Mr. Cocklevar? What is your name?
What?
What is your name, Cocklevar?
Cocklevar.
It's Kolvar, but okay.
Kolvar, okay, not Cocklevar.
No.
Gobbler.
So, Cocklevar, what's your name?
It's Kolvar! Piece of shit.
Describe Kolvar. What is Kolvar doing on this fine Sunday morning?
He's generally being an elf.
And
he is tall and rough looking and fairly thin. And he wears a big long coat and stuff.
Even around the house?
I like the coat. It's got many pockets. Pockets are useful.
Okay, Kolvar, the elf. Tall? Not tall?
I said tall.
Very tall. Alright. And what, blonde hair, blue-eyed Aryan elf, or what are we looking at?
Blackish, dark brown hair.
Sudden withered skin? Grey eyes? Blue eyes? Green eyes?
Grey eyes and slightly tanned skin.
Okay, so the grey-eyed, tall, dark-haired skin. Okay, so we got a pretty tall elf wearing a coat. And Elrus? What does Elrus look like when he's at home?
He's usually wearing just like simple, comfortable robes. He's of average height, brown hair.
He's a human, I take it.
He's a human. He's human.
He's a human. Is he fat? Is he thin?
I'd say average build. I'm not sure how would you say that. Is that an even thing you can say? Like
standard
not fat.
Issue human.
Standard issue human. Maybe a bit fitter, or actually a fitter human than standard issue.
On the fit side because of his travels in the desert. I take it.
Yes.
All right. And what's his hair? Is it like unkept, kept? Is it short, long?
He's a wizard. Of course, it's unkept.
All right. Is it grown out? Is it hanging in his eyes? What would you describe him as?
It's cut. It's like cut to a shorter distance, but it is unkept. So it's
like, not quite buzz
as long as it's out of the way, but I don't. Yeah, as long as it's out of the way style.
Alrighty. What about Yosef? What's his name? Drasov. What is his name? What is he doing?
Drasov.
Dwarf. You realize I'll never be able to see your dwarf as anything other than Russian now.
That's perfectly fine. Drasov.
Does he have an unfaithful woman called Mary?
Maybe.
He is average height for a dwarf, so maybe coming up to like mid-chest on a human. Not mid-torso, mid-chest. Bright copper-colored hair. Hair on his head quite short, swept back, but quite a long beard coming down to his waist. Plaited like you always see in the old Warhammer Fantasy with bits in it. All these shiny copper.
Even your ponytail has a ponytail.
Exactly. Around the house, he normally wears quite standard leathers, just hard-wearing, practical clothes. He often enjoys practicing. He's, he goes through his axe techniques. He doesn't wear his armor unless he's going out for it specifically, and he doesn't see the need for it. But yeah, pretty honest, quite rugged. He's fat, but he's not weak fat. You can see if he tries to lift something, there's muscle under there, but he's still pretty bulky.
Like bikers.
Yeah, pretty much. So he hasn't got a six-pack, but if you punched him, it would still be it'll be like punching a log underneath a blanket.
Alrighty. You have to drop all the dwarf panties. Okay, Mackleby is still getting coffee, or are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, fantastic. What does Mackleby look like?
Mackleby is not your typical warlock. Mackleby is more of a scholar. So, and he takes his relic hunting very seriously. So, instead of wizardly robes, he tends to wear adventuring leathers. So, he's a gnome. So, he's of gnome height. So, he's about 3 foot, coming up to the average human's waist. Wiry, skinny, not one to overindulge in food or drink. Also, a lot of nervous energy, so he hasn't had the chance to actually gather any fat.
He's very good for throwing.
He is a dark. He's a dark tan gnome with dark brown eyes and brilliant red stalk of hair that sticks straight up around his head.
All right. And Berke? What does Berke look like?
Burke is a tall fella. He's about, what you call it, 6'4", 190.
Mm-hmm.
And he's about 105 kilos. So he's a bit stocky, but he has a lot of muscles on him. But he has some scars, because, it's a hard life being a barbarian of the steppes. And he lost.
Green eyes, blue eyes.
He's green eyes, and
Hair?
he's like fair skin, but you can really see it because he's usually dirty.
Dirty, unkept,
I
barbarian.
I can't open the character sheet.
He's prone to use war paint at certain occasions. Put war paint on.
Hold on, let me just have a look here quickly, make sure everybody's got the character sheet open. You said Trash, you're having issues, eh?
Yeah, it would only let me preview it. It won't let me actually open it up.
And you're using this. There's no preview.
Have you tried pressing the pop-out button?
You just open it up and edit it. You don't preview it.
This literally worked every other time I tried this until right now.
I sent you a link. Does that work? Yay? Nay?
Nope.
No.
The link I just sent you, does it not work?
No.
Does not work.
Are you sure you logged into it right account in the case you have multiple?
It's always the same. I'll figure it out. I don't know why. It's being funny.
It shows you as Anonymous Beaver. Are you sure you're logged in with the Trashy account?
I am not Anonymous Beaver.
What about if that link I just sent you on Gtalk? Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
Must be something to do with your user privileges. Alrighty. So, gentlemen, you all find yourself... Mental Gin. You all find yourself at your residence/place office after a pretty standard Saturday for most of you. Burke was out punching the crap out of various patrons at a bar, getting in a fight. Mackleby was busy doing various magical pieces of research. Drossoff was doing whatever he was busy doing. Elros was busy making magical potions. And Kokvar was doing whatever it is that elves do in their spare time.
You're good shit.
Griffey, I got one question.
Yeah.
Humans can sometimes pick 2 stats to increase by 1 and get a feat instead of...
That's at level 4, isn't it?
No, that's instead of getting +1 to everything.
Okay.
Can I do that and take grapple?
If you want.
I'll do that then, because I want to have grapple to begin with.
There you go.
Okay. Most of you, are still in your rooms. It's quite early in the morning at this stage of the day. Most of you having long since gotten used to living, the odd quirks of living underground. The fact that there's no way to tell if it's day or night, if you have the sun, that kind of thing. However, all of you are aware, however, that the ceiling of this vast natural cavern that forms Tool Vault is actually got the image of a blue sky with various clouds, interspersed here and there on it, projected onto it. And people call this Waktia's gift, which is something to make the fact that the people are living underground a little bit more bearable, a little bit easier to stomach, since most of the people now living in the city over the last few centuries are not people that were originally from underground. You didn't have any drow, you didn't have any dragar. It's mostly species that have been used to, adapted to living on the surface. So it's something to make it a little bit more at home for them while they live here. Your various servants, like Helga, your dwarf, she, has been getting a bit of an early morning coffee brewing there. And Smitty, your long-suffering butler / store manager, has also been receiving some visitors and receiving some messages and getting ready for you. And as you guys pad down from your rooms and get ready to take on another day, not necessarily of work, but another day of business and recreation and that kind of thing, you see Smitty trot over to you. Joseph will probably be the first one down, since you seem to be one of the more straight-laced, non-alcoholic people in the party. And he let you know, my throat. You see him pad over to you and go, "Good morning, sir."
Good morning, Smitty. Did you sleep well?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Great to hear.
I do have a few messages for you.
Yes.
Father Tully was here this morning. He's invited you to a late breakfast. And we also have 1 or 2 people coming in this afternoon to come and do a viewing of some of the artifacts that we have in the showroom. Will you be attending?
Fantastic. For the attending, I don't think I'll be there, but I'm sure someone will. I'll let the guys know about the breakfast invitation as well.
Very well, sir. And you see him scoot off to go ready the showroom, dusting at imaginary dust, as most of the area is actually kept very clean by Helga, making sure that the below office, your general business area at least, represents quite a professional front to any members of the public that should frequent it. Your upper area, well, with Berkey there, less so. I mean, it's a constant battle between, her and the forces of order, and Burke trying to nail various pieces of animal and various other conquests to the walls, and general lack of cleanliness. Nobody has really managed to drum into him at this point that, regular bathing is something that most civilized people do on a fairly frequent basis. So it's, one of those things that you guys have gotten used to over the years that you've been living together with. So what is everybody up to this morning?
So
I'm gonna walk up the stairs and be like, "Gentlemen and elf, Father Tully wants to see us for a late breakfast. Someone throw Burke in the water trough. Let's get ready."
I'm already ready. I'm always ready.
I scream, 5 minutes!
What the fuck was that?
5 minutes! I'm a gnome. Is that gnome's dog?
I do believe it was your comrade Mackleby.
Was it?
I could talk like this.
Well, I'm gonna go down. I've told them the message. I'm gonna go down and get some nice morning coffee before late breakfast. So
the coffee is delicious, very much in dwarven style, thick enough to dissolve the spoon that you put into it, and strong enough to put some hair on your chest. Very much the way you do enjoy your coffee in the mornings.
Glorious. Even more hair on my chest. I'm a happy man.
Do we have any whiskey type object?
Oh, you guys have got a fairly, not substantial, but you've got a fair cellar that you've managed to build up over the years. Mostly casks of wine and various other liquors that you've salvaged from the ruins. Occasionally, you guys have received bottles and casks from various patrons that have been happy with the work that you've done. You don't exactly have a cellar to draw from, but you do have quite a wide selection of different liquors that you've managed to build up.
Yeah, I'll just pour a little bit of whiskey type liquid into my coffee first.
Fantastic. What are you up to, Mr. Burke?
Sleeping, it seems.
Mackleby, what are you up to?
Nobody woke me up. I'm a fucking barbarian. You need to fucking wake me up better than that.
You get points for role-playing that.
I go fucking whack him with my stick, like, at a distance.
Just throw some water on him. He probably hasn't bathed, so it would probably help.
Oh, that's actually a good idea.
That's actually a good idea.
I'm gonna go get a bucket of water from somewhere.
You head down to the bathroom and draw a heated bucket of water.
Heated?
Some soap. Yeah, you guys have got stones.
No, I'm asking, why would I heat it?
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. If you want to draw
Ice
cold water,
cold.
that's fine. That's a thing. That's fine.
I'm not going to waste heated water on that animal.
Wow.
Alrighty, Burke, you are awakened. A very
What?
polite amount of cold water getting dumped on your bed. And you see the somewhat smug face of Elris looking down at you, having thus awakened
you.
Alright. Gotta speak up.
Gonna have to grapple for that.
What? No. No need for that.
Better run
You're awake now. By the way, we have breakfast, late breakfast at the place, so get ready.
Maybe some food in my belly.
Belly.
Maybe I'll grapple you after that. If I remember.
All right. Well, the most of you make your way down slowly to the kitchen area. Have some coffee. The more fastidious among you, splash yourself with some water. Apply a bit of grooming to make yourself look at least somewhat presentable. And before long, you guys set out, heading to the Temple of Wuctius. The people of the city, most of them tend to spend weekends in a rather relaxed fashion. I mean, the general fashion in the city is to wear very loose-fitting robes, because of the desert sun and sand. Bright colors, very much in evidence since Wuctius is worshipped widely inside of the city, and he's very much the god of celebration. And you've recently noticed a trend where people tend to be braiding colored ribbons of silk and various other types of material into their hair, or they're wearing multicolored armbands for the men. But it's a very festive city. Even at the normal business day, 24 hours a day kind of services, people tend to take a little of time for levity and for accepting and indulging in a bit of celebration, as is the nature of this deity that is very much in evidence around the city. So beneath the odd flickering clouds above you guys, even though you know that you're underground, you head down to the Cathedral of Wuctius, where many of the functions of state, as well as weddings, celebrations, and just your general day-to-day running of the temple are conducted. And as you guys arrive, you guys see that, you've been backwards and forwards from the temple a number of times over the last few years. You guys have rocked up, received missions, dined there, attended ceremonies, that kind of thing. So this is definitely not the first time that you guys have arrived at this temple. And as always, the first thing you notice as you head to this tavern is that the church has an enormous library that's been built onto the side over the last few years. Much of the church library actually displaying artifacts that you guys have recovered, yourself and various other people have recovered for the public. It also has an enormous collection of different books and other works that have slowly been pieced together and rebuilt over the years so that people can get to grips with the culture from the surface city that was destroyed. The actual Covenant or church itself has low white marble walls surrounding it, and it actually has a massive fruit orchard open to the public built on the front of the church. And as you pass through the gates into this orchard, a sense of well-being, like a warm feeling of something almost like a vast desert soaking up the sun during the day and then releasing that comforting heat into the evening, fills you with a sense of well-being. You can feel this is definitely a benevolent god that is worshipped in this place. And even the cathedral itself, instead of being very dour construction, the church itself is built out of very light, airy construction with lots of stained glass, fluted metal, and very delicate-looking sculptures forming most of this construction inside of this area. And as you guys head down, you notice a very flustered-looking scribe Hair a little bit greasy, eyes with a few dark circles under them. He looks like he hasn't had a decent night's sleep in a while. Approach you guys and go, good morning.
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah, what may I help you with? How can we assist
Good
you, gentlemen?
morning. We're here to see Father Tully. Something about a late breakfast?
Oh, please, yes, come with me to the kitchens. And he doesn't take you into the main entrance of the church. He takes you around to the side where you can see a bit of smoke curling up into the sky from a church chimney over the side of this building. And as he leads you inside, you can see that the kitchen itself is a little bit dark. Not a lot of lamps or candles set up in it. Predominantly dominated by a massive fire pit in the middle of the room, as well as some ovens that appear to be baking fresh bread in the corner. And as you enter, you guys see the form of a gnome. Very short gnome, even by gnomish standard. He's a short fellow. Very red-faced, kind of overweight, hair a little bit thinning on the top. And you can see currently it has one of his arms stuck into what appears to be a broth or a stew of some kind. And you see him pull out his hand and take a lick of his finger and go, definitely needs more salt, to a very perturbed-looking young gentleman in church attire that's also busy in the kitchen at the moment. And as he turns around, he sees you guys, he goes, welcome. I see you've decided to join me for breakfast. And he walks over and grabs you and attempts to hug you, but due to his short stature, it mostly goes around your stomach, being unable to reach very much higher than that. Welcome, friends. Welcome. Please sit down. And what have you guys been up to? What's going on?
Hey, Frat Tully.
Nothing much at the moment.
I give him
Fantastic. I want to talk to you about business, but first we do breakfast. And you see a gentleman walk past, one of the other brothers, with a tray of what appears to be fresh bread, and he goes, brother, a bottle of wine for us, please. And he looks to you guys, don't tell the elder, we're not supposed to drink on duty, okay?
You have to bring in more than one bottle, I think.
That's what I like to hear. And you see the brother scuttle off with a look somewhere between confusion and fear, because he's not quite sure what to do with this quite a tall individual that suddenly invaded his kitchen. Well, sit down, and he points you to a table set in the corner of the kitchen. And as you guys sit down, you see trenchers of roast mutton, bread freshly out of the oven, stew, eggs, bacon, all sorts of good things being put down on the table, and the good father busy filling up his plate right alongside you, getting ready for a good old breakfast. For you, Burke, you see him take a tankard off the top of the table, waddle over, put it down, and fill it up to the brim with a nice red wine. Anything else for you, gentlemen?
I'm fine, thank you.
Hey.
And you, Idris? You look a little bit quiet.
A cup of herbal infusion for me, good man.
Of course! And you see him snap his fingers, and one of the other brothers brings a very nice tea. Anything else for you? Golvar, you seem quiet.
I'll just the wine is fine for me.
Fantastic. And he sits down with you guys and starts to dig in. And it's probably a good 5 minutes or so where the only sound really at the table is the sound of food being consumed. And it's good, it's good food. It's nice home cooking, if that makes sense. It's not anything fancy. It's actually just onions and things fried up in a pan, and it's nice fresh bread. It's nothing that's crazy fancy. There's no like embellishment or anything like that to the food, but it's just it's a nice big chunk of food. You got some good tea to go with it, and those of you who are inclined towards the alcohol are having some delicious wine to go with it. So, do you gentlemen have a contract at the moment, or can the church rely on you once more to fulfill some of its needs?
The church can always rely on us.
That's what I like to hear. But you're not just saying that, yeah? You guys, I don't want to take you away from any work that you guys are busy with.
Not at the moment. We're free currently.
No, there's nothing significant going on at the moment.
Trash.
Trashy is trying
I
to
think
kill us.
Trash just got eaten by a tornado.
For trash.
Trashy, you
It's
okay?
tomato season.
Daniel is trying to join us. It's like, why would you humans understand?
There.
Your microphone is just destroyed.
Are you like wiggling it about on a piece of cloth or bubble wrap or something?
Ow.
We can't do you, mate. Okay, let's give Trashy a moment. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's give Trashy a moment to restart.
I don't
or
think it's Discord.
select a different mic or something, and then we'll carry on in a moment.
That sounds something new. I haven't heard that sound before.
Yeah, it's like really bad, like scraping sound, or it's being blown down by a tornado.
Oh, tornadoes.
Tornadoes, you so silly.
Not yet. That was extremely random. Have you tried a different mic, maybe? Just bug it. No, that's not it. Hey, but restart the server just for the
Okay.
sake of it.
Try talking again. Trashy, try talk. Not working.
That's bizarre. It's like a screaming word we have to do.
Fighting? I'm good fighting.
Uh-huh. We heard about you at the tavern, picking a fight to some gentleman at the table.
I didn't pick any fight. He challenged me to a grappling match.
Well, be as it may, next time I recommend you send some money with these fine gentlemen. You know, the healing isn't free around here, even though we do you a favor every now and then.
I only broke one arm. Jesus, you know. Oh, who's this? Jesus.
I don't know, some different god, some
I'm
heretic, who
Happus.
knows?
I don't know who this Happus is, but you know, I it's not my fault. They're so fragile, these fellas.
Hmm. Be that as it may, you fine gentlemen, you're looking for some work, yes?
Mhm.
Fantastic. In that case, please wait a minute. And he grabs one of the acolytes in the room and he says, please tell the lady that we would very much like to speak to her. And you see the acolyte head out of the kitchen, and you guys make a little bit of small talk. After a few minutes, you see a oldish-looking half-elf lady come into the room. Black hair, starting to go to grain. Her hair plaited into what appear to be cornrows, with many different colors of cloth braided in. And you can see her skin is very much leathery and tanned by years spent on the surface, you know, in the desert. Crow's feet starting to form at the corner of her eyes. And she's currently wearing a bright yellow sundress with a wide-brimmed hat. And you can see she's actually wearing a pair of sturdy hiking boots, very much at odds with her dress. And you can see that behind her, you can see another gentleman coming in. Also a half-elf. Hair cut very short, almost military. With also starting to grey. You can see he's quite an older gentleman. But you can see that his hair has been bleached nearly white by the desert sun, and he appears to be wearing chainmail and leather with an enormous pitted iron greatsword hung over his back. And you can see his skin's actually cracked and weathered from the long hours spent out in the sun. And he has an enormous knot of white scar tissue across most of his throat and larynx. And as you see the lady come in, she sees you sitting around the table. She smiles and she kind of scoots you to one end and sits down at the side of the traditional table next to you guys. And Father Tully goes, "Gentlemen, I would very much like to introduce Lady Adri. And she smiles at you and goes, well, hello, dearies.
Hello.
Morning.
Father Tully goes, I know this is a little bit unusual, but Lady Adri is in a unique position to assist the church. And we would very much like for you to act as our escort and, well, to do what you do, to retrieve a few artifacts from a temple and to return them here to us. And you see that the gentleman who's walking by has actually got what appears to be a small flower pot with him, with a little tree in it, almost like a little bonsai tree. And the tree itself appears to be grown very much what looks like Wuktia's holy symbol, a bird in flight. And the lady goes, well, dearies, the reason we asked Father Tully if he knew of somebody reliable is because word has come to us that someone has discovered the location of one of Wuktia's temples from the surface. A little bit underground, but it appears to be remarkably intact. And we would very much like you to escort us to this temple. And then once we are there, secure it and then return the artifacts there to the church. And I'm given to understand that you are quite talented in this area.
We have done this before, yes. Quite many times.
Excellent. Sir Dan, and she gestures to the gentleman behind her and he puts down the flower pot in the till. The reason why we felt we needed to perhaps consult a third party is because of these. She gestures at the pot. What do you gentlemen see when you look at this little plant?
I'm gonna look at it really closely.
Sure, make a perception check.
Can I investigate it?
You can certainly try.
Could we use insight?
You're not really trying to find out the intentions of the bush.
Of the book?
So the bush might have evil intentions.
You can certainly try.
I will.
16.
Hold on. What bush we're talking about? Sorry.
It's a little, like a little bonsai tree that's been grown.
That kind of bush. That's no fun.
Ooh. I will
Down on the table.
see if I can.
What about the front type of bush?
Only 9. I know nothing. It's a tree.
It is indeed a tree. It's a very special kind of tree, though, as you'll see momentarily.
Trash, we're using D20s.
Oh yeah.
What did you roll, Eddie?
19.
Holy shit. Okay, and you, Hippo?
16.
I can roll, so I can.
Liddy, you notice that despite the fact that this tree is giving you the idea that it's a tree, it's almost imperceptibly quivering a little bit, like a snake coiled ready to strike.
Oh.
I
take out my notebook and start taking notes studiously about the tree.
She says, observe. And she moves her fingers closer to the tree. As she's about to touch the branch, you just see the tree suddenly uncoil like a living thing and strike at her finger, almost as if it's attempting to bite it, and you see her snatch her hand away at the very last moment before it once more contorts back into the symbol of Wuktias.
Technically, all trees are living things.
Technically, I suppose. I am uniquely gifted in that Wuktias has conversations with me every now and then. And this abomination, and you can see the tree now once more looks like a very ordinary little tree, albeit tiny in size, was brought to us by a traveler from this temple that first brought us news of it. So, as is our wont, I went and asked Wuktias, what is this? Would this be something that we need to look into, something that we need to recover so that we can return our heritage to our people? and he imparted some knowledge to me. The creature that has spawned these trees, or these plants, is called a Golthius tree. Legend has it that a trio of adventurers hunted a vampire into these ruins. And that evening, preparing for the battle to come, they cut some stakes from the trees surrounding this oasis, and the following day drove them into the creature's chest to defeat it. However, its tainted blood infected these stakes, and we now have a monstrous tree living inside this holy place, defiling it with its presence.
Why not just burn it?
That's what we are hiring you gentlemen to do.
That doesn't make sense.
Why can't you burn it
Go
yourself?
to the temple,
Oh, yeah.
recover
it's far
any
away.
artifacts of interest to the church, and burn this abomination so that we can once more sanctify this temple that it is so profaned.
So, any idea why it's taking the shape of a symbol of Octius?
We think it's because, and this is pure conjecture, we think it's because it's at odd with the nature of the temple. The temple itself was consecrated to Octius many centuries ago. We think it's almost a way for the temple to try and contain the evil or limit the evil inside of it, so it cannot spread as quickly as it would like.
This
I want to know, though, to be honest with you.
I grab her sleeve to get her attention.
As you grab her sleeve, you see the other half-elf that's been standing behind her. You see his hand just snap out and knock your hand off her arm immediately like a lightning crack.
Ow! I was just trying to get...
I'm very sorry. Sir Daniel is my life ward, and he's a little bit overprotective. The elf actually looking down at you quite sternly. I'm terribly sorry. He hasn't been very talkative the last few years. A greatsword took most of his throat. He cannot speak. He's mute.
Like this one? I put it mine.
Even larger one was wielded by a giant.
That's impressive. But
Like Michael Jackson.
Space Michael Jackson. Oh shit! This guy's gonna be Michael Jackson. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm terrified already.
Hey, this doesn't make sense.
Glad I'm not a halfling.
Children.
Anybody,
Please, I'm
You're
looking at you.
ignorant.
you're ignorant. That's ignorant.
Oh, God damn it.
Anybody can burn a tree. You need us to burn a tree.
The destruction of the tree is secondary. It's mostly your expertise in recovering artifacts that we are looking for. A rumor has it that several of the vaults, as well as the library itself, might still be intact.
Oh,
What good is a library?
You will be handsomely compensated for any books that you can retrieve.
so the tree is secondary? What if we don't get to the tree?
That would be unfortunate, but if it proves too much for you, then we will have to put out the call to arms for the pigeons to see if they can perhaps assist us.
Hey there, little fella. I need more wine in my cup.
So do I. You see him beckon over a very long-suffering acolyte, and he brings over another bottle of wine and opens it up and pours most of it into your tankard at this point.
Thank you.
Has T reacted how to magic? Is it dangerous? Does it react badly to it?
It appears to be sentient,
Oh.
at least somewhat, from what I understand it. How much of the vampire's consciousness is trapped inside it, I'm not sure, but it is definitely malignant in its intentions.
Why not just put it in the sunlight?
Well, if that is what will work, we'll hope that
The
you will do
vampires
so.
doesn't like suns.
Well, that is why we are contracting your gentleman, if you're interested, of course. If not, we will attempt to see if anybody else is interested.
Well, we're always interested in new things. But how many other adventurers have gone after this?
You will be the first. It was a trade interest of ours that brought it to our attention.
Mm.
Do you know whereabouts the temple is?
I will be going with you to lend you my unique talents.
Are you going to bring that jumped up elf?
He goes where I go. I am his life ward.
I stare daggers.
He's only doing his job, Mackleby.
Man.
She looks at you. I will be there to shorten your journey for you.
Supervise.
Shorten our journey?
She takes a coin out of her
There's nothing short on me.
pouch on her side and puts it down on the table and flicks it towards you to roll the coin across the table towards you. And midway between where it leaves her hand and you, it just disappears and appears on your side of the table. As if the distance traveled in between has just never happened.
Ooh.
I am uniquely suited to this particular task.
Very uniquely.
Shortening your journey somewhat, making it a little bit easier. We'll travel a few days as opposed to several weeks. I can't say that I'm sorry. Don't think that the sun agrees really with any of us up there, especially with the miserable conditions.
Well, that should definitely make life a lot easier.
So, we can rely upon you, gentlemen?
Well, what does everybody else say? I'm up for this.
I think we can say you can definitely rely on the Reappropriation Corporation.
Yeah.
That is very good to know. When would it be most convenient for you to leave the city? I would like it to be as soon as possible, but I understand if you have some preparations to make.
I usually pack up and then
How about the day after tomorrow? That should give us enough time to get supplies, leave instructions.
Will dawn suit you? Will dawn suit you?
Yes, dawn should be perfect. The sooner we start, the better.
Excellent. I will see you at the western exit of the city then.
Fantastic.
Good day, gentlemen. I hope you enjoy the rest of your breakfast. You see her get up and see her head off into the church. You see Father Tully. Can't say much care for that elf.
I'm looking at him.
Not you, the other one with his sword.
Well,
Lean back,
Fine,
arms
be like
crossed,
that.
still staring.
I can agree with you, Father Tully. I don't care for much for elves either.
Somebody who gets it. Like, pick that one was. I mean, I don't really can't talk about it. Yeah? No need to be like that about it.
Oh yeah, but you know elves always moan about something.
Another cup of tea, brother.
Yes, please.
You see him.
I think there's
Poor long-suffering acolyte like bubbles over with a porcelain pot of tea, very much at odds with the rough and tumble nature of the kitchen.
I think it's something to do with their big ears, you know. They're probably really sore or something. They're always so pissed off.
Can I slap Vark?
you dare?
Do you want to
slap
grapple with me, boy?
No, I'm just slapping you.
Even though you're like 10 times my age?
Oh dear. You guys carry on having quite an amiable breakfast with Father Tully. Before heading off back to your place of business, place of residence, to prepare for your journey.
I'll peel off on the way back. I want to go to the drunk skunk, check in with Muffins, see if he's heard any rumors.
Alrighty. Is there anything else you guys want to do before we do the before I do the drunk skunk?
Do that. Yeah.
why didn't we do that first? Because then I don't know if anyone wants to be around. We've got some customers coming to look at a few goods.
What the hell is PTT? Push to talk.
Push to talk.
What the fuck, Trashy?
Trash, I think maybe your computer's fucked. Nobody has this many problems.
Okay. Hippo, you peel off to the drunken skunk, and you see that Drusif actually is keeping pace with you. Down to the infamous tavern, such as it is inside the city. You guys make your way to the drunken skunk, passing a few of your other known haunts along the way. You know, the Swan and Sons, the expeditionary company that so often serves you with your various tools of the trade. You pass the Anxious Papaya. Seems to still be closed this time of the morning. The inn still seeming to be recovered from Burke's visit last night and the various patrons that he put in hospitalized states. And before long,
it wasn't my fault. They're fucking squishy.
Before long, you make your way to the Drunk Skunk, owned by Muffins, to those close to him, and Wise Band Muffins to those not close to him. The tavern itself made up of mismatched furniture, different sizes and designs, tables and chairs, most of it filled with chips and nicks, bearing witness to the patronage of a rougher class of customers and patrons that frequent this bar. And you strongly suspect the reason for all the mismatch.
I was wondering if you'd heard anything about somebody called Lady Adri.